Hello everyone, welcome to this training, welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to be showing you how to sell the first 100 copies of your book using a simple trick I'm going to be showing you. If you're new to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you will get notified. You'll be the first to get notified when I post similar videos like this, showing you how to leverage the online space to make more money and also to create more visibility for your business. So in this video, we're going to be learning about we're going to be talking about book sales, book marketing, and all what's not. So you've written a book that is not exactly selling, that is not exactly making the kind of sales that you actually wanted to make. What could actually be the reason for this? There are actually several factors that can contribute to whether your book sells or not, and we're going to be trying to talk about all of that in this tutorial. Now, here are some of the things we're going to be talking about in this tutorial. We're going to be talking about how to create a product, all right? Then we are also going to be talking about how to build an audience. Then we'll talk about how to create a WhatsApp funnel and essentially how to sell your book using the trick I'm going to be showing you. So if you stay until the end of this tutorial, I'm going to be unraveling this trick. I'm going to be showing you this trick that you can actually use to sell your books, all right? But first of all, before you actually start to talk about selling your books, several things ought to have been in place. And the first is that you would have created your product, which is meant to be a hot product or offer, all right? And that product or offer could be in form of an ebook or an online course. But in this case, we are actually talking about ebooks. All right, we are talking about ebooks or reports. Ebooks and reports are more like the same thing, but they have basic differences. But here, actually, we are talking about books. It could be a short book, a short PDF book, a report, a manual, a guide, or any of that sort of thing that basically conveys information that contains information that solves the problem of people. All right, so one of the things you need before you start talking about book sales is an offer. You need a hot product or offer, which could be an online course or an ebook, but in this case we are talking about ebooks, right? Then you need an audience. All right, so you need an audience, and the kind of audience that you would start to build would also be dependent on the kind of book or the kind of books that you have created or you want to actually create. Now, in my coaching program on book publishing and Amazon KDP, I talked about how to select a profitable niche for your books, all right? How to start a profitable book publishing business. And one of the core things we talked about is how to select a profitable niche, because not all niches are profitable. Not all topics are sellable, all right? So in that online course, I actually taught my students how to select profitable niches that would actually sell and how to convert them into hot products or offers, all right? And it is that niche selection that is going to inform the kind of audience that you eventually start to build, all right? So you need a hot selling product and you need an audience. Then the other thing you also need before you start to talk about book sales, making before you start to talk about selling at least 100 copies of your books, is that you need that is using this formula I'm going to be explaining to you, right? You also need a simple WhatsApp sales funnel. Now, what is a funnel? You know, when you think of a funnel, you think of the conventional funnel that you use in you know, in putting water into gallons and all that. If you're in Nigeria, you understand what I'm trying to say. So a funnel, you know, when you pour water into a funnel, it goes through stages before it gets into the container. So it's also the same thing when we talk about funnel in marketing, in sales and marketing. So a funnel is the stages that your customer or your prospective customer would go through from knowing you, or from the first time you're meeting that customer to the time when they eventually become converting customers, when they eventually become buying customers who are repeatedly patronizing you. All right. So that is what the funnel, that's what the sales funnel is. And a simple WhatsApp funnel it works like this. So a WhatsApp funnel goes from Facebook content, which might actually be a paid um content on Facebook ads, that is the paid marketing option, or an organic marketing strategy where you use your normal Facebook profile. But essentially, the funnel goes through a Facebook content, then it goes through a landing page, then it goes through a WhatsApp direct message, and then the WhatsApp class. All right. So that is the funnel that I'm talking about here. Because you're going to be using the method I'm going to be showing you involves selling with WhatsApp classes. All right, that is how you're going to be selling your first 100 copies. So basically that's how you're going to be selling your first 100 copies using WhatsApp classes. All right, and it has to go through a simple sales funnel, which is Facebook content plus landing page plus WhatsApp direct message plus WhatsApp class. All right. Then if you don't have a landing page, let's say you don't have a website, you could also create a simple WhatsApp funnel that includes a a Facebook content, a WhatsApp direct message, and a WhatsApp class. All right. Then it is after the WhatsApp class that you now start to you now make your offer for people to buy your books. All right, so I'm going to be showing you clearly how it is going to be possible for you to make at least 100 sales of your book after you have just published it. All right, so we are going to be using WhatsApp training um to actually make this possible. Then also, aside from a simple WhatsApp sales funnel, the other thing you would need is a lead magnet. All right, a freebie or a lead magnet. So what's the lead magnet? A lead magnet is anything you give away for free to people in exchange for their information or data that is essential to you. So a lead magnet could actually be a free ebook. It could be a free ebook, it could be a video content, a free video content. It could also be a WhatsApp class, right? Because a WhatsApp class is essentially free, and you want people to come through to your WhatsApp to you want people to come through to your WhatsApp for a training, after which you're going to be making them an offer. So that WhatsApp class is what you're going to be leading with. It is the attraction here. It is a lead magnet. So in this situation, what you're going to be, the lead magnets you're going to be needing is the WhatsApp class you're going to be organizing. All right. Then the other thing you'll be needing are tools for your writing, tools for writing your book. So let's say, for example, you haven't written any book, right? So you're probably a newbie who wants to actually make sales, who wants to make money from writing books, and you haven't actually written a book, or you have already written a book. All right. If you've already written a book, then you already know the process that you go through to creating an ebook, right? But then let's assume that you haven't written a book. I'm going to be showing you some simple methods you can actually use to create your book, even within 24 hours or less. All right. So what would you be needing to write a book? You'll be needing a laptop or a smartphone. Um, if you don't know how to write books using your smartphone, I'm going to be leaving a link in the description to a video I did recently where I showed you how to create books on your smartphone for uploads on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, which you can also still use to also create books to sell on other platforms, maybe using your seller account, or even to give out those books to people on through your WhatsApp classes, right? So you'll be needing a laptop or a smartphone. Then you'd be needing PLR sites for selecting a niche. A PLR site is PLR means private label rights, which is basically a site where people go to pick and modify books. Like on PLR sites, you have different books on different niches that you can actually go to pick and modify without having to write the books yourself. All right. I talked a lot about PLR sites in my coaching program, and if you're interested, I would also be leaving the link in the description to that coaching program, so you can also see more about how to be a part of that coaching program, right? Then you'd be needing Google Docs app or MS Word, right? So if you're going to be using a mobile phone, you'll be using a Google Docs app, right? But if you're going to be using a laptop, you'll be needing MS Word. All right. You can also use Google Docs app. Sorry, you can also use Google Docs on your laptop as well. But then in my training, in my coaching program, I did show my students how to use um how to format a book professionally using MS Word. All right. Then you'd also be needing a tool for editing called Grammarly, right? So Grammarly ensures that you come up with books that are essentially correct, that are free of grammatical errors and all that. So you may not, so that you don't exactly have to forward your book to a professional editor and all, right? Then you need needing a tool called Quillbot for paraphrasing. So Quillbot is the paraphrasing tool. So let's say that you're going to be using this PLR site to write your book. You'll be needing a tool called Quillbot, right? Because like I explained to you, PLR sites are actually sites where you get um, books around different niches that has already been pre-written by people. So they just put out these books out there, and then they give out resale rights to people, right? So you can actually go to a PLR site and select a niche and then pick any book, um, download a book actually, right? And then modify it. So because you're not going to be using the exact content of the creator, right? That is why you have to use this paraphrasing tool called Quillbot, so that you'll be able to modify the content of the book and come up with a clean book, right? But then if you're not going to be using Quillbot, let's say you already know how to write yourself, you can go through the process of writing, and then Grammarly would also be good for you to do your editing and all that. Then you'd also be needing a tool called Canva to help you design your ebook covers, right? So Canva is a graphic design tool. It's actually free. It's free to use. So there is also the paid version. There is also the paid version, but then the free version can also allow you to do a whole lot, right? So you'll be needing Canva for both on your mobile phone, or maybe you're using a laptop and all that. Also, in my coaching program, I did explain extensively to my students how to design book covers, right? I talked about whether or not they should hand over their books to professionals, or if they should design themselves. And if they are designing themselves, I show them the different elements of a good book cover and how they can actually come up with professional book covers using the tool called Canva. Now, let us look at how to write your book using some simple methods I'm going to be showing you. All right. So I just hope I'm not talking too fast. If you're not really understanding what I'm trying to say, you can just ask questions in the comment section, or I'm also going to be leaving the link to my WhatsApp, where you can also come to me to ask me questions in case you do not understand anything. Now, let us look at the simple methods to actually create your book. How to write your book. Now, there are several methods you can actually use to write your book, right? There are several methods you can use. The first one is to use PLR sites. Now I'm going to be showing you an example of a PLR site called Free PLR. It's called freeplrdownloads.com, right? So if you go to your Google, just search for freeplrdownloads.com, and it will bring you to this site where you'll be able to select a niche and then download a book, and then use the tool called Quillbot to modify the content of the book, right? So that's one method of writing, right? So we are talking about different methods that you can actually use in writing your book. Let's say, for instance, you haven't gotten a book yet. So you can use PLR sites to write your book. And this is one of the PLR sites you can actually use. I also use this site to write. So one of the things you can do when you get to this PLR site is that you select a niche or category. So if you're interested in writing around affiliate marketing, advertising, addiction, adoption, marketing, there are actually different niches here. So all you just need to do is to click on a niche or a category, and then you will get several books, several PLR books that have been written for you, that are actually written for you, and you can download them because you have the resale rights. And then all you just need to do is to download the book and then use Quillboots to remodify the document and then create a new cover page, and then you're good to go with a book, right? That's one way to write a book. Now, the other way is to write by yourself from what you already know, right? So, in my coaching program, also, I talked about how to write a book from the scratch, even if you've never written a book before. All right, that is aside from actually using PLR sites, right? So, it's actually very easy to write books, but then some people find it difficult to actually do. But in my coaching program, I actually simplified everything, and you get to learn how to actually do this yourself without having to stress about doing research and all whatnot, right? So writing your book yourself is also one of the ways to write books, right? Then you can hire someone to write for you. Now we're talking about ways to write your books, right? So you can hire someone to write for you. So there are many freelance writers out there, many ghost writers out there on Upwork, Fiverr, and even on social media. Um you can employ the services of a freelance writer to write a book for you, which you would now sell, right? Which you now sell. And before you actually do that, remember that you ought to have chosen a niche that is profitable, right? Because remember, it is not all book categories, it is not all niches that are actually going to be selling, right? It is not all topics that are sellable. Okay, so you can hire someone to write for you. Then another very easy way to writing books is to use transcribing tools. And how do you do this? Now, when you've selected a niche, all you need to do is to go on YouTube and look for videos around this topic. Let's say, for instance, I want to write a book around fertility, right? So all I need to do is to go on YouTube and search for videos around fertility that um that that covers the areas that I want to talk about. And once I'm satisfied with the videos that I have, right? I could actually download series of videos. So once I'm satisfied with the videos I have, all I need to do is to download the video, and then I would use a transcribing tool called Otter. It is spelled Otter, Otter. So you can actually download Otter both on your mobile phone, and you can also use it on your computer as well. So with Otter, you'll be able to transcribe um both audio and video content, and then modify it, edit it, and turn it into a complete book, into a full book that you can actually sell, right? So you can see that writing a book is essentially not difficult. You can hire someone to write for you, you can use PLR sites, you can write it yourself, or you can use transcribing tools, right? So it is actually not difficult at all. If you use all of these methods I've just shown you, you'll be able to create books within 24 hours or even less, right? You know, people take a long time writing books. A lot of people take weeks, months, and all that. Although it also depends on the kind of book you're writing. But then if you're writing a simple book, a simple guide, because I always advocate for people to write simple guides or manuals to that would actually help to solve people's problem immediately. I actually advocate for such books, and such books are just about 35 to 50 pages long, right? So if you're not going to be writing an elaborate book, coming up with a simple book shouldn't be very, very difficult to do. All right. So now you have your book. You have your book. What is the next thing to do when it comes to selling your book? Okay, now let's talk about building an audience before we even start to talk about selling your book. All right. Now, at the beginning of starting your online book publishing business, the first thing you need to do is to select a niche, right? Selecting a profitable niche. Then the next thing you need to do is to identify your audience on social media, because of course you're going to be selling on social media. So you need to identify where your potential audience are congregating on social media. So there are different platforms that you can actually use to create your content and to build your brand, right? That there are, because you need to actually build a brand around your niche. All right. So let's say, for instance, you've selected a niche around women fertility and women's health, right? So you talk about such topics as women health and women fertility and all that. So where do you get women? And you want to build on Facebook, for instance, you want to build your brand on Facebook. So how do you get women who are interested in such topics? How do you, because these are the people who are going to be eventually buying from you, right? So you need to be able to build um an audience of these people who would know you, right? Who would come to know you, like you, and trust you enough to remove their monies from their pockets and actually buy from you. And that's what we actually want to ensure. But first of all, you need to know where these women are congregating online. For example, on Facebook, we have different groups on Facebook, right? So what you need to do, what I actually advise you do is to go online, go on Google and search for let's say for instance, you're into the women health niche, right? So all you need to do is to go online and search for groups on women health, right? So search for groups on women health, and then when you find them, add yourself to those groups, right? Add yourself to those groups and start to build credibility from those groups by engaging, right? Engage on other people's content, engage on other people's posts, engage, and get known. All right. So once you get known in those groups, you can also start to put out your content as well. But first of all, one thing you also need to understand with Facebook groups is that some of them are very strict with rules. So you also have to ensure that you know the rules that are guiding content creation in these groups, because there are some groups that there is a way you would actually behave that would make them to ban you, right? And you actually don't want that. You want to be in a group where you are respected and where people know you as somebody who is valuable, as somebody who is capable of offering them value, right? So you want to ensure that you add yourself to this group and engage. But aside from engaging, another thing you can also do is to add friends from those groups to your profile, right? Remember that Facebook gives you the opportunity of adding up to 5,000 friends, and you can take advantage of that to add as many friends as possible from these groups of women who are likely to take actions on your services or on whatever it is that you're going to be talking about eventually, right? So add friends. What I usually advocate you do, and what I advise my students they do, is that they should add at least 100 friends every day from targeted groups, right? Add at least 100 friends every day from targeted groups of people who are likely to take action on your products or services, or people who are likely to be interested in your brand, right? So that is one aspect of building an audience on Facebook, right? It is very, very essential you build an audience. And when you now start to build this audience from different groups, from different platforms, going to where people in your audience are congregating, now you need to ensure that your own profile on Facebook is optimized for business, is optimized to make people understand what you do, right? So since you're going to be doing business on Facebook, your profile has to look, no, it has to look clean. You have to ensure that people can come to your Facebook profile and scroll through your timeline and be able to say, wow, this person is valuable. For me, that is what a lot of people come to tell me. They're like, wow, I love your timeline. It's so full of information, it's so full of helpful content. That is what you want to also ensure that you do on your Facebook account, because people cannot just you can't just start to talk about something and then people come to your profile and then they are seeing it somehow. I mean, it doesn't speak well of you, right? So you have to ensure that your Facebook profile is clean, right? To welcome people. So that is one aspect of building a brand on Facebook. Then, aside from optimizing your content for business, your profile for business, you have to ensure that you're always putting out content, helpful content, valuable content, right? So that is a prelude to actually selling your book, right? So people have to know you through the content you're putting out there regularly. I advise my students to always put out content at least 3 times a day. You want to ensure that when people log on to Facebook, your content is the first thing they see, staring them in the face. And when they do that, when you're always in their faces, they will come to recognize you as an authority. That's how to actually build authority in your niche, right? So people will come to identify with you, and then immediately you put out an offer, they'll be interested and would want to actually jump on it, right? So let's say you've actually built this credibility online, and you've also created your book, and now you are ready to sell. What is the next thing you need to do? Organize a free WhatsApp training, which is your lead magnet, right? So how do you do that? Now, um this is what I usually do whenever I want to organize a training. I start to talk about this training at the beginning of the week, right? So let's say, for instance, I have scheduled this training for Monday. sorry, for Sunday, right? I will start talking about this training on Monday, like Monday morning. I've already started talking about it. And you also need to do something. You need to do a content calendar for your Facebook content. You need to plan a content calendar. How many times are you going to be posting in a week or in a day, right? So if you're posting 3 times in a day on social media, on your Facebook, you need to ensure that um at least 2 times you are talking about your training, or even you can even do all the time, like all 3 times you're going to be posting content which are going to revolve around your brand, around tips to help people and all that and all that and all that. You're going to be ensuring that you get people to know about this training, get people to know that I am having a training. It's just like an advertisement. And yes, you're not for this method, actually you're not using paid advertising, right? You're doing this on your personal profile. So it is not paid Facebook advertising that would ensure that a lot of people come through at once. So you have to ensure that you talk about this every day until the day of the training. And how do you now get people to come through to your venue, to the venue of your training, which is actually going to be WhatsApp? Remember, we talked about building a simple WhatsApp funnel, right? Which is going to be your WhatsApp, Facebook content, a landing page, a WhatsApp direct message, and then the training group, right? So how do you now do this? How do you onboard people to WhatsApp? Now, what you need to do is to first of all create a customized WhatsApp message using a platform called WA.link, right? WA.link is a platform that you can use to create free customized messages for your WhatsApp. And now I'm going to be showing you how to actually do this, right? You can also do this on your mobile phone. So what you need to do is to come to this site called wa.link, right? Or WA.link, then click on it. All right, so you'll be able to create a customized message for your audience that they can send directly to you. So how do you do that? So when you're on Word.link, just come to create a free link and then enter your mobile number. So let's say this is the number I want to use, right? I'll just come here and then create a message, a customized message. That's when people click on the link, they'll be able to send me that message directly, and I'll be able to respond to them using a direct message. So let's say, for instance, I'm organizing a training. What I'll just say is, I'll just write a customized message saying, hello. I'm sure you've come across these messages when you click on some WhatsApp links, right? So hello Mary, um I would like to join your free WhatsApp training holding this week, right? Please add me up. So that's the message, right? So once you click on generate my link, you would now be able to copy that link, and then you would not be able to share that link on Facebook when you're talking about this training, right? Now, one thing I want to also make you understand is that when you're sharing links on Facebook, ensure that you don't share those links on your post directly. That is because the Facebook algorithm is going to instantly reduce your reach, because you don't want people leaving their platform for any other platform, right? So you want to ensure that you always leave links in the comment section of your post. All right, I hope that is clear. All right, now, so any content you put out there in the build up to your training, drop the link to your training, drop the link to your WhatsApp, telling people about this training, right? And then when they click on it, they come through to your WhatsApp. What is the next thing you now do when this will come through to your WhatsApp? You want to ensure that they save your contact. This is very, very important. I cannot emphasize this enough. You want to ensure that you save your contact, and that is because so that you'll be able to follow them up. You'll be able to follow them up after the training, right? So when they come through to your WhatsApp, you would already have created a direct message that would now tell them, okay, thank you for coming through to my WhatsApp, or thank you for coming through for this training. I really appreciate you coming. Kindly save my contact and then reply done when you're done, and then I'll add you up to the training, right? So that's the direct message you're going to be creating. Now, if you're using WhatsApp business, I believe that you know how to create direct or quick responses rather. You know how to create quick responses so that people will get to take the action that you want them to take. And in this case, you want them to save your contacts so that you will be able to follow them up even after the training, right? So after they've saved your contacts, you will now add them up to the training group, right? So on the day of the training, which is the next thing we are going to be talking about, on the day of the training, ensure that you remind them, right? Send a message to the group to remind them of the training. And then when it is time for the training, you know, you can um give out time for people to, introduce themselves, talk about a few things, just to get familiar with them, right? Get familiar with the people you're going to be training. And that is a very good strategy as well, building up to actually put out your offer, right? So let's say, for instance, they're about, for Facebook groups, sorry, for WhatsApp groups, you have a limit of about 256 participants, right? So if that group is filled up, you want to ensure that now, if your group is filled up before the day of your training, you can actually still fill, you can still fill up another group. Hope you know that, right? You can create more than one group actually to sell for your training. Actually, it doesn't have to be one group. So if you have 256 participants filled up in your group, which is beyond possible, right? Which is beyond possible, you can, ensure that the engagement from them is lit, because you want to ensure that at the end of your training, when you're making your offer, at least 100 of them would be taking action. Although sometimes this may not be possible, but then in the coming days, you want to ensure that you follow them up and ensure that they take action, right? So at the end of your training, after you've conducted your training, you've done everything, you've talked about whatever it is you're going to be talking about in your WhatsApp training, right? You've talked about everything. You've wowed them with value, right? At the end of everything, then you now make your offer, right? To tell them, okay, I thank you very much for being in my class, but then I have this thing to, give you and all that. Now, the interesting thing about WhatsApp training and lead magnets generally is that when you give people something for free, they feel obliged to you, right? They feel obliged um to take actions that you want them to, and that is why this is a very good trick that you can actually use to sell your books, right? So when you've made your offer, and then your offer, or you also you need to make them see that you're actually giving them out, you're giving them these products or these services or whatever it is you're going to be giving them, which is actually for sale. You have to make them see that you're actually making them an offer, right? So let's say, for instance, if your book is worth 2,000 naira, you can tell them, okay, I'm giving out this book for 1,000 because of you people who are in this training, right? So they'll feel wow. So after this training, after this value you're giving to us, you still are willing to give us this book that is so loaded for this cheap. And before you know it, they'll start buying. People will start buying, people will start showing interest and all that. So if you have up to like 256 people in that group, at least for the first time, like for the first 24 hours or so, let's say, for instance, 60 of them may actually buy, right? 60 of them may actually buy that book, which is actually beyond possible. You can actually do beyond that number. So if 60 people buy within 24 hours, and let's say your book is priced at 1,000 naira, and 60 people buy, that is 60,000 naira. So what do you do? And that is why saving their contact is very important. What you need to do is to keep on following them up with messages, especially if you had made a deadline. If you had put a deadline to your offer, let's say, for instance, you have told them that your offer is going to be, the 1,000 naira offer is going to be expiring at a particular period of time, right? So you make them feel this, you have put this mental um this thought into their head as, wow, I need to take advantage of this offer as quickly as possible, right? So that is one of the strategies in marketing that we use a lot. Putting deadlines to your offer is also very great to actually use. So if in the first 24 hours you're able to sell to at least 60 persons, you know, of people who have been in your WhatsApp group. I mean, that's a great achievement, right? And to think that you can actually do more in the coming days by following them up with messages, following them up in the group with messages, and also following them up with messages on your WhatsApp statuses. ensuring that they see your offer all the time, and then reminding them that the offer is also going to be expiring. Before you know it, you would hit 100 sales so easily, right? So it is actually not difficult at all to hit 100 sales from your book. It is just the strategy that you may not be aware of, which I have been able to show you through this training, right? So basically, that is the simple trick that you need to use to sell at least 100 copies of your book within 24 hours or less, right? So it is actually very, very simple. Okay, so that is what you need to do. That's what you need to do to sell at least 100 copies of your book. So we've talked a whole lot in this webinar. We've talked a whole lot in this training, this tutorial, whatever it is you want to call it, right? We've talked about how to create your books. We talked about the different methods you can actually use to create your books. We've talked about selecting a niche, right? We talked about PLR sites. We talked about creating your books using different methods. And we've also talked a lot about building an audience, building a solid brand, and building credibility and building authority around your niche. And then we've talked about WhatsApp classes and how to use them to sell. Wow, this has been an interesting session. I believe so, right? So if you've gained value from this training, I want you to leave a comment for me in the comment section. Just see anything nice, right? Say anything nice to me. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you and also click on notification bell so that you be the first to be notified when I come up with similar videos like this, right? Now, I want to make you a quick offer. I want to make you a quick offer. You would really love this, and I believe so. Now, I have just launched my online course and coaching program around Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing and book publishing in general, the one I've been talking about in the course of this training so far. Now, here is what the course actually contains. From this training, you will learn a lot about Amazon low content or zero content book publishing, right? Which enables you to know how to learn how to earn in dollars, right? So you learn how to carry out keyword research and niche research in order to verify the profitability of your book before writing it, right? Then you'd also learn how to rank on the first page of Amazon so that people can see your book and buy, right? You would also learn how to design coloring books, logbooks, journals, children activity books, and a whole lot more, even with your mobile phone, right? Then under the book publishing coaching program, you're going to be learning how to identify profitable book niches and how to establish yourself as an authority in that niche, even if nobody knows you on social media. So away from everything we've talked about so far, there are more, right? There are more. And I went deeper to show you how to do this on Facebook, how to build a solid brand on Facebook from a choosing profitable niche. Then I also showed you an in-depth guide to using PLR sites and how to modify PLR content, formatting it for both Amazon KDP and paperback, and also how to convert it into PDF for sale on other platforms, right? Then I also talked about how to create a personalized digital bookstore that will house all your books and digital products using a platform called Selar. I'm sure you've heard about Selar before. Now, if you've not heard about Selar, I'm going to be leaving the link in the description to a video that will help you to understand more about Selar and also how to create your own Selar store for your books as well. Then the highlights of this training, of this coaching program, is the Facebook ads mastery for all businesses, right? So I dived deep into Facebook ads and how to use Facebook ads to sell products and services, whether you're selling digital products or you're selling physical products, and everything in between. You're going to be learning a whole lot about how to set up Facebook ads for yourself, how to set up WhatsApp ads, how to set up conversion ads, how to set up lead ads, lead generation ads, and all what's not. All right. So now this training is going for just a token of 10,000 naira, which is actually far beyond the content of this training. Actually, like if I when you check through the when I leave the link in the description and you get to check it, you will see that I am not fluffing. Like there's a whole lot contained in that course, and apart from that, you also get to I also get to add you to my mentorship group on WhatsApp, where I would every once in a while hold coaching calls to answer your questions, and you get unlimited access to me. So it's actually a whole lot, and 10,000 naira is way beyond what you're going to be getting from this course. All right, so I'm going to be leaving the link in the description so that you'll be able to check out the course and then make your purchase, because yes, I might actually increase the price as time goes on, because I'll be adding different things as time goes on as well, right? All right, guys, thank you very much for staying with me until the end of this video. I hope that you've learned a whole lot of things, and I have also learned a whole lot just from talking about this training, because we learn every day, right? And just from talking, I've been able to learn some other things myself, and I hope that you've also been able to learn one or two things, right? So I hope to see you in subsequent videos as you stay with me on the channel and subscribe to my channel as well. All right, so see you. Bye.